Now everyone says the driver that I've got right here is a little bit of a unicorn. It goes a long way and it's super forgiving for the driver in this category. It's also made up of 47% carbon fiber. Now it's also worth noting this driver came out in 2017. I bet you're dying to know what it is. Let's put it to the test. Now this driver right here is from 2017. Does anybody remember this? And at the time it was, well, I guess a legendary driver and the first to sort of really improve, I'm going to say, ball speed with technology we hadn't seen before. And that technology was in the shape of jailbreak technology. There's two bars that sit in here. And then after this driver came out, the next few drivers from Callaway had jailbreak technology. So it's really interesting to see this stay consistent. It must mean this piece of tech really works. But the big question is, how does this Callaway Epic Great Big Bertha driver, and this is the Sub-Zero model, still perform? We're going to test it on 3 holes. The first one being the Stroke Index 113. I mean, look at that hole. It's narrow and there's not a lot of place to hit it. We're then going to test it on the 14th and the 15th. On the 15th, do you think this is narrow? There's water everywhere. Now, as we go through this, I'm going to remind you and actually bring to your attention some of the technology in this, because I think it's really paved the way and it could class as a very much a legendary driver. And right now you can get him for a bit of a steal. Now I'm going to really be scrutinising this driver on ball speed, club head speed, spin rate and distance. But not only that, I'm going to show you where all these golf balls finish. We're going to hit 2 off each tee and see in real life where this golf ball actually goes, because at the end of the day, that is really what matters. And does it still perform? With this being the Sub-Zero model, it is the lower spinning, smaller head. Now look at that shape, it is very domey and that face does look very deep down behind the ball. It's a good looking driver, isn't it? That carbon with a splash of green. And look, that's what I mean by that deep face. Really deep from bottom to top. Nice looking driver this, it really is. I'd sort of forgotten about it. You know what I'm also a really big fan of is these pops of green. It's really nice. You get it on the bottom here, and you've got these 2 weights in here in the Sub-Zero model, a little bit low spinning, and then you also get these pops of green on the top here with this carbony effect. Does anybody actually remember this driver? Did anybody actually have one of the Great Big Bertha Epic drivers? I'll be honest with you, I remember this going crazy at the time, because the jailbreak, it also has heaps of other tech which we will go through. Now I'm interested, because this is the lower spinning model, what does this actually perform like? What's my spin numbers? What ball speeds can I get? Because recently I've gone away from a low spinning model and gone more into the forgiving, well, not the forgiving, but the one that sits more in the middle of the brands, because usually you have Sub-Zero, one in the middle, and then one that's like a higher, bigger MOI, I guess, the more forgiving one. So line-wise right here, see where the line, the crest of the hill comes down? That's where we want to finish this. First one away here. Wow, this head actually feels a little smaller. Here we go. I'm excited about this. I remember the sound being interesting too. Oh, I hit that off the toe. That was an awful hit. Oh, that won't have gone anywhere. Yep, I think we'll play that one again. We won't show you those numbers. They're not very good. But you know what? For a Sub-Zero driver, that actually went all right. Considering it wasn't a centered hit. No jokes, that was hit around about there. It will be good though to see the difference in distance between that bad hit and, I'm saying good hit, I'm hoping I hit a good hit right here. And just to give you an idea of numbers on that shot, the spin was very, very low, 1,900, because I hit it out the toe. My ball speed was down below 145 at 143.2, and my club head speed was 103.4. Now, usually I'm looking for 110 plus, 160 ball speed, and a spin around 2,500, and a total distance around the 270, 280 mark. That was nowhere near. Come on, you've got better than that, Alex. You've got better. There we go, that was hit. Wow, that's low. That's gonna be running like mad. And an into the wind shot like that, that's probably not too bad. Sorry to interrupt this video, this is just a reminder that this channel is powered by you, the viewers. So as long as you subscribed and you've turned on the bell, you can literally say, Alex, go and test this. I'll do my best to find it. As soon as I've found it, we'll test it and we'll have it up here on the channel. So don't forget to subscribe and suggest what you want me to test next. Now a few numbers right here, 157.8, I don't think I got it really out the middle, and a 105.9 club speed. And a total around the 250 mark. I guess a little bit shorter than I was expecting. Maybe it wasn't out the middle. I don't think it was anywhere near, if I'm honest. It was just better than the first. I'm really hoping in today's vlog, it's not one of them days, you know, when you just feel a bit, yeah, with driver. I mean, this seriously shows, right, okay, we were teeing back there near the path. This seriously does show. That's my first one that I hit, and that's my second one. Now, granted, right, they both hit the fairway, and that's not far off where I would usually want it. Now, the sound of this driver is quite dull. It really, really is. And I think it has a lot to do with the construction of the head, and actually the cage construction. Now, if you're not aware of this, it's quite interesting really. It's got an innovative head design construction that has unique qualities of aerospace grade titanium exo cage. So have a look at this here, right, okay. So it basically has a cage structure with then an internal light triaxial, big word that, carbon crown that weighs 10.8 grams and a sole of 7.4 grams. Now this allows an improved perimeter weighting for more forgiveness and makes it possible to position the CG in line with a neutral axis, which I guess lowers spin but keeps the MOI quite high. So I bet you weren't aware of that technology in the driver. Now let's move on to the 14th hole. This is playing a little bit into the wind today, so it's going to be interesting to see how the driver performs. Now a few things that I'm noticing so far is one, how low this ball flight is, and also, right, the sound of this driver. It's a little bit on the strange side in my opinion. Now looking at this data, it doesn't make good viewing. Low spin. And with low spin, it's coming in a low carry. Let's try and hit another one. So looking at this one, I'm not going to lie, really I can't hit this driver any better. So let's have a look at these numbers a little further. Interestingly, they are a little bit on the better side with a bit of a longer distance, but still, they're nothing to write home about. Let's see where they finish down the fairway. Found one here, and I actually think the other one is in here somewhere. So we've missed the fairway on both of those, low and a little bit left. I tell you what, I've been lucky. I think I've just found it. Yes, we've got it. Now, if you look at those numbers right there, right, look at those drives. What do you think of them? Both missed the fairway, both low, and I'll be honest, that second one, I couldn't hit it any better. Like literally any better. The ball speed was pretty good, the clubhead speed was okay, but the spin was so low. And that's contributing to a low carry and a low total distance. I'll be honest, going back to this being a bit of a unicorn because it's a Sub-Zero that's got a high forgiving MOI, I'm not really seeing that right now. I'm really not, and I know that might upset a few people, but I'm not. It feels really dead off the face. The sound's quite dull, it's like, nah. And I do remember a lot of people saying to me at the time, this Callaway driver just feels a little bit dull, dead off the face. I guess one thing I could play around with is these weights. One of them's 12, one of them's 2. If the 12's closer to here, that'll make it even more low spinning. If the 12's a little further back, that would make it a little more high spinning and a little bit more forgiveness. So as much as Callaway calling this a unicorn and everyone's saying it's a bit of a legendary driver, I think the technology is legendary in the sense of how much carbon it has. The jailbreak, it's been there for years and Callaway used it again. But this model just does not suit me. I mean, the deep face looks good, the overall look of the club, I love. You can't argue with those numbers. Now it's gonna come under real scrutiny here, isn't it? We've got this to contend with. And if I hit them like I did in the last, it will just get over that. So yeah, let's see how this goes on. I would love to know your thoughts on what numbers I'm getting right now. Like, did you expect me to get these at the Sub-Zero? Did you look at it and go, yeah, that's not gonna be right? Or are you a little bit surprised? I think it's safe to say this unicorn driver in this setup isn't right for me. And I don't even think it's the shaft. I think it's purely down to the head. Right, on to the final hole here. Let's hit this away. It's mad how much carbon fiber is in this. I've just even noticed that this is loft up to 10 degrees. neutral +1, and it's a 9-degree Sub-Zero head. Now, I do love giving you these reviews of these clubs and actually showing you where they should finish. So line-wise, you want it just right at that house. That's like Tiger Alley. I mean, oh, I don't know if that's a good place to go today. Anyway, we'll go with what we usually do. We're not going to shy away from this. We're not going to shy away from this. To be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed with how I've hit this and how it's not performed. I love the look and the domey shape of this head. It's a real, like, everything I look for in a driver. I even like the glossy carbon where it's exposed at the back and then into this very traditional Callaway centerpiece here at the front. It's a really good looking driver, just not one that's performing right now for me. I've hit that good. I haven't got any better again. Look how low that's gone. I mean, it's great if you're playing links golf. I mean, that's not bad. But again, interestingly, look at these numbers. A 262 total. Again, I want to say this, these numbers aren't normalized. Better ball speed, maybe weirdly higher spin. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you right now. I'm a little bit disappointed in this driver. From what I was expecting, reading the reviews and reading the technology, what's happened is not what I thought was going to happen. Now, that first drive away was hit really, really well. But again, a bit of a weird spin number. Now, looking at this second shot, could you just see how it dived off a little bit left? And I'm going to go non-handed here with the steering wheel, which is near the water, but just to show you these numbers. Spin rate of 1,714. A ball speed of 160.2. Like, look, 160.2, slightly slower club head speed, but this is not to be sniffed at. But look at the rest of these. They just doesn't, like, perform. This shows, like, look, I mean, the total distance is okay on that last one, but look at the spin here. So low, so low. I actually think in the real world, these must have gone a little further because we're off the yellows, the flag's only here, and these drives are both level with each other. Stand on this one here, and I zoom in over here. Can you see that other golf ball that we hit? Look there, just sort of top left of the screen. Now, I want to reiterate this. These numbers aren't normalized. So this is just what's happening at impact, and the conditions will play a part in where this ball finished. This ball has finished actually where I would be happy with my own driver, so suggesting it went a little bit further than I actually think. But it's really low launch, really low spin, and I do feel like I've got to really hit it hard to generate any sort of spin on this golf ball, which we all know we don't want to be smacking driver as hard as we can all the time. We want to have that smooth one in our locker. So yeah, I think my review of this driver is that I'm really disappointed that the Sub-Zero doesn't work, and as forgiving as it says in all the marketing, I don't feel it is like that. I wouldn't be going for this model personally. Now, if you did enjoy this review of what is a legendary driver, I think it really still is in that category, just because of the technology that has been used for year on year. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell.